Welcome to the guest room where all the demons play. Welcome to the guest room. I'm chilling with the gang. Got space for everyone. Excuse me. Welcome to a special edition of the guest room. We're not in the guest room. I don't have money for all this lavish stuff. I'm not. No. So.
Not yet.
Wait on it. Stuff coming. Yeah. Alright, so today is a very special episode of The Guest Room. I'm trying to get through this without crying, you guys, because he doesn't know that I'm gonna say all this stuff about him. So, I kind of wrote a little something, but I'm not going to stick to it because a lot of what I want to say about him is just from the heart. Again, so before I bring out my guest for this episode, I just want to tell you a little bit about him and why he's so important to me. He is definitely the definition of a father that I want, and I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, gotta be careful about this, but he's always been a father figure to me. He has been a protector, he has been a coach, he has been a provider. Whenever I need something, he's always there to help me. And oh gosh, but it's just so much that he just does for me, and he doesn't even know it. He doesn't know the little things that he does. His presence sometimes is just amazing. Just to tell you a little bit of backstory about my uncle, about like our relationship. When I was growing up, I thought that him and my aunt were the meanest people in the world. And it took me to live with them, when I was like 16, 15, like that. And me and my mom came to live with them. And all I could think of was like, oh my God, I'm about to stay here. We about to have a bunch of rules. I can't do nothing. And even though that was what I had, but it was getting to know them, both of them. And my Aunt Lisa is going to be in another episode, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So, she's going to be in another episode, but today is going to be about my uncle. I appreciate him so much, and he doesn't know how much this means to me. I've never gotten nervous to do an episode with anybody, but I'm so nervous to, just to have him here and have him on my journey with me, because he means so, so, so much to me. And everybody in my family knows that he is my favorite uncle. Don't at me, none of y'all, Richard, Spike. This is my uncle. I don't care. Bye. My Uncle Curtis.
That's my man.
That's her man, y'all.
Hi, Uncle Curtis.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
I love
I'm
you.
Good. I love you too.
All right. So, I purposely didn't tell him about the episode and what it was going to be about, because I feel like when I catch my uncle off guard, or like not even off guard, but like he gives a very honest, not to say you're a liar. You're not a liar. You're not.
No, I'm not.
But just giving him his authenticity, if that makes, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
genuine.
Yeah.
You genuine?
Genuine.
So this episode is going to be about Black fatherhood, pretty much. So, father figures, fatherhood. I'm not sure what we're gonna name the episode at the bottom, but we'll figure it out. It's something about black fathers. Just to let everybody know, he's my uncle, but you guys can know him for a minute, just a minute. He's my uncle. So just to let the people know a little bit about you, just a really backstory. Hello, my name is.
Oh, that's what I have to do?
Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Curtis. Now, first I want to say that I didn't know that Tracy was going to say all these nice things about me. That alone just got me kind of nervous. Because, I know I'm a good person, but I didn't know some of the things that she just said about the little things I do that mean so much to her. So a little bit about me. I'm 64 years old.
You look good. You can't have him.
I'm 64 years old. I'm close to retirement. I'm thinking right now. What's foremost in my mind right now is we have a new president, president-elect, and that kind of takes a lot of anxiety away from me, and I know a lot of other people, because of our previous president.
Right.
Okay, so like I said, I'm close to retirement. I got a big family. I got a wife that's in my corner at all times, and she makes things a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
I'm actually ready to get on with this with Tracy to see where we're going with this fatherhood thing and how much it means to her and me. And and I have 4 kids. I have several grandkids, several great grands, and they are very important to me. And let's get on with it.
It's a nice little segue. I need to learn the segues because that was a good one. So, so it's gonna be about fatherhood. It's gonna be about black fathers, and how important a black father is in a child's life. And I want to talk about girls in particular because having a father in my life was really important. To have a father figure. I had a lot of cousins. I had, people that helped me, but it's very important for a little girl, for a woman, to have their father in their life as well. So we'll touch on that as well. Was your dad in your life, and did you have any other positive role models in your life as well?
Well, you said, was my dad in my life? I was pretty lucky because I had 2. I had 2 dads. I had a dad and I had a father. So I learned a lot from both of them. Wasn't easy when I was coming up. I mean, the way you bring up a child now is significantly different from when I was coming up. I mean, there's so many other things in this modern world that you have to take into account in bringing up a child now. Girls, just as well as boys. So yes, my father was in my life, and as I said, I learned a lot from him. I think I'm actually the man I am today because of my father and my dad.
Right. Just really quickly, can you touch on what's the difference between when you say a dad and a father? What's the difference? Because I know a lot of my friends, they did not grow up with their fathers, or their fathers were iffy in their lives and things like that. If you could touch on that just a little bit.
To me, I mean, I'm not going to attempt to speak for other people, but to me, Dad was the dad that I grew up living with. That was Dad. That was the day-to-day dad that I seen go to work. I seen come home. Dad was the man that I seen, get up in the morning and work. He used to do construction work, and I know that's hard work. And he would go to work and he would come home, and we would all sit around the table and eat dinner. Actually, it was so many of us at one point. My siblings, we had to eat in shifts because, like I said, I come from a big family. And
14.
And it was a thing where Dad always would eat last. The youngest ate first. Most tables can only seat 6 to 7, 8 maybe. So we would basically eat in shifts. It was only 2 shifts, but we learned so much coming up from Mom and Dad. To speak about the father side of this, I always had 2 men in my life. And the reason I say dad and father is because my father was always there. He just didn't live, it just wasn't day to day. So that's, and like I said, I don't profess to speak for anybody else. That's just the way I feel, okay? But equally, I learned a lot from both of them. And sad to say they're both gone now, but I'll never forget them. And I'm the man I am today because of them. And I can't leave Mom out either because she taught me a lot.
Yeah, she a G, y'all.
Yeah.
The day I could get her on this, y'all not even gonna think that's my grandma. She's so fly. I think you touched on this a little bit already. How many kids do you have, and do you have to parent them differently? Because I know some kids need more, some kids need less. It all depends.
Yeah, that's very true because, as I said, I have 4 kids. My wife and I, we don't have any, but we have 4 kids.
Me.
We have 4 kids, and we have several grands and even great grands. One thing that I learned coming up was that different kids, different siblings, when they're coming up, they need different attention. Girls, boys, some need more, some need less. You worry about some more than you do others. But you have to pay attention, and you have to really get in touch with who needs what. And naturally, in a girl sense, you have to spend time with your kids, teach them what's right and what's wrong. And in a girl's case, if a father spends a lot of time with his daughter, he inadvertently and even on purpose, he teaches her how a man is supposed to treat a woman. And that's something that's you gradually teach that, and at some point it's like a light going off, and the young lady, as she gets to a certain age, she say, oh, okay, because my dad wouldn't do that, but my dad would do this. And that helps them as they grow older and look for a mate, and it helps them in choosing the right person for them. On the other hand, it's the same thing, but in a different way. You teach the male child how to treat a woman and what it means to treat a woman with respect and to have dignity with it and everything like that. So I don't know, I hope I answered that question.
No, that was actually really good. I think as you were saying that, it was certain things that were going through my mind, like with people that I've talked to in the past and things like that. I always think, and it's a shame, I look to you more so to see like somebody that like I would want to model a husband after, or like model just a mate, because the way that you protect me, and I'm not even your daughter, but like I'm your daughter.
Mm-hmm, you're my daughter.
Okay, all right. So you know, I look at things like the way that you, even if I tell you I got a car trouble and stuff like that, I let him know, and he's like, well, we gotta do this, or like if I ever gotten, and I would hate to have to call you, but like if anything happened where it was like, oh, I need to call somebody, I need some, you know, something, some advice, or like some whatever, he would be the first person I call, because he's clear-headed, like with certain things. So like he doesn't snap right away. He'll ask me questions, he'll try to figure things out first, and then where to get. Like,
yeah, then you have to make a decision. Something you made me think about. You have to respect people for having their own way of doing things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that plays a really big role in relationships,
mm-hmm.
and rearing kids.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody doesn't do things the same way.
Right.
So let's talk about just in a relationship, mm-hmm. man and woman. Mm-hmm. You have to respect that person for having their own way of doing things.
Right.
And if you do that, that keeps down arguments, dissension. You just totally get along better, because what happens, and this is what I've learned. What happens is, if you have a disagreement, and then you finally, at the end of the conversation, you agree to disagree. Later on down the line, what happens is one of you is going to find out that the other was right.
Right.
And then you say, well, you know, babe, you was right. You know what I mean? But we didn't let it go on and on and on and get all discombobulated.
Right.
And that kind of thing builds up in a relationship, which in a lot of cases, if something like that continues to happen, what happens? It ends in divorce.
Right.
So I've modeled my life with that in mind, because I know that nobody does things the same way all the time. I mean, so you have to respect people for having their own way. And I'm coming up on, I think my next anniversary will be 21 years in my marriage. So.
Woo! You ain't tired of him yet, Lisa?
And I'm not doing it again.
Y'all came here for, you know, Black Father, but y'all got relationship, you know, advice.
Yeah, so
you're welcome.
You know, but see, that kind of helps. All of it is relative, because you know, your mate helps you in rearing your kids and all that. I mean, it's a collective kind of thing. Right. So, you know.
Good job. Yeah. You did a good job. Okay. What do you think sets Black fathers apart? And why are they important? I think you kind of touched on that already as well.
When you say sets them apart
from other fathers.
Well, you have a lot of fathers that's not in their kids' life, okay, and they're really, in the true sense, fathers. They're not dads, okay, but there could be a lot of different reasons for that too, because something I've always thought about was, when you have a child at a young age, and the man and the woman are very young, and they haven't learned a lot, because wisdom means that you've learned a lot, okay? So if you're fairly young, then you haven't learned a lot. Right. And maybe the relationship fizzles, and you break up. Right. And in a lot of cases, in that, I mean, this is, in a lot of cases, if the man and woman is mad at each other, the female in the relationship, she tries to keep the child away from the father because she knows that's going to hurt him, especially if he's a father that cares, and she knows it's going to hurt him.
Right.
But what they don't realize is that they're hurting the child. They're hurting the child just as much as they're hurting the father.
Right.
So when you say what sets them apart, a lot of times a man wants to be in the child's life and he has a difficult road trying to be there because, you know, what the female is doing.
Right.
And then at the same time, you have these deadbeat fathers. They're in the street. They're drug dealers. They're this, they're that. They're criminals or whatever. And, you know, that's one of the things. I mean, if you have a father that wants to be in a child's life, you should do everything that you can to make sure you cultivate that.
Right.
Okay? I work in the prison system, and I see a lot of young black, white, Hispanic, that men in prison that have kids. And over the years, I've told them that, come on, man, you got kids. They need you.
Right.
Your kids need you. Okay, so that's another thing that sets a true dad, a true father apart, because like I said, there's a lot of different variables that play a part in whether a man can actually be a good dad. But one of the most basic things that you can do as a father, especially if you live with your kids, if your kids live with you, is to at least have Sunday dinner with your kids. Or have a daily meal with your kids, because that's the time you can sit around the table and you can just talk. Or you can just hear him and be in touch with what's important to him at that time in his life.
I can come over on Sundays whenever you need me to, because you know, I would like to spend time with, you know, you guys.
I think you've had quite a few meals over here.
I'm just saying I can have more as well. This is just a sidebar for myself, because this is something that I think people, a lot of parents in general, misconstrue. Is monetary things the same as parenting your children? So like being there for your child. So example, if you're providing for your child all the time, so you're making sure that they're, you know, you giving them money, you doing this, you doing that. Do you think that is the same as, you know, parenting? If that makes any sense.
Well, let me say this. You're bringing up your child and you're teaching them values. Mm-hmm. And your financial status is on the plus side.
Even if it's not on the plus side.
Well, wait, let me finish my thought.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's the dad part of me right there.
That was the dad.
That's the dad part.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. See, because, you know, I'm 64 years old, so I got to have my thought. I got to get it out there, because I forget.
You going to forget.
No, I'm okay. Okay. But if your financial status is on the plus side, mm-hmm. and the child, you kind of stay with me here. If your child, the child that you're rearing, or the children that you're rearing, is doing the right thing, they're good kids. Mm-hmm. You have to discern what's necessary, what they need, mm-hmm. opposed to what they want. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because those wants, you get those wants by doing your job.
Don't talk to me.
Oh, okay. See, that's the dad.
I feel
those wants by doing your job, and your job is going to school, getting an education, and doing the right things in that regard. So, and then you have that situation where maybe your financial status is not that well. So you have to really explain and get to the point where the child understands that this is what we can afford, this is what you need, and we have to plan for this, that, and the other. Okay, so did that suffice? You guess so? Okay. I didn't mean to start preaching.
I know you. I got in trouble a little bit for this. Feel like I got in trouble. I'm grown. All right. Last question. What advice do you have for any new black? And I'm only saying black men because I feel like it's important that we get back to the two parent households again. And I'm only saying that because I am black. If you couldn't tell, I'm of the African American descent. So I just wanted you guys to know, unless you thought I was of the Caucasian descent, and I'm not. So you were supposed to laugh at that. That was awesome.
Oh, I was thinking about your question. I'm sorry.
Any advice that you have for black men, new black fathers, or a father that's just going through like a tough time being a father, a new father?
Advice. Listen to someone that you respect that can give you advice as to if you have any questions, if you're struggling with something. Listen to someone that you respect. Have a conversation and kind of extrapolate what you can use out of that conversation and apply it to your life and what you're doing at the time. I think that's very important because wisdom comes with time. And I think the young people have to realize that if you have someone that you have a habit of talking to and you respect them, you have to realize that they've been where you're at in a lot of cases. And realize that they might know something about this situation. Doesn't always apply. You can't always apply everything to your situation, but it kind of gives you a guide as to maybe how you should handle a certain situation. And pay attention. Pay attention because a lot of situations come up more than once, okay? And you can look back and see where, okay, I handled this way before. It didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to. So maybe I should think about doing something a little different. But as I said, pay attention and listen to good advice. You can tell whether something is good or you should just let it go. So I just say pay attention and just do the right thing in your own life. If you're doing the right thing in your own life, if your heart is good, things tend to come together. So
that's the end.
That's the end?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that wasn't enough.
No. So it's really short. I do the short-ended like a lot of. I do like a couple questions, but they're questions that people can relate to, and I can't see words right now, but I thank you for being on my show. How was it?
It was fine. It was fine. I have one more thing to say.
Oh.
Okay.
Final words.
Yeah, just to kind of tell men out there that's struggling with being a dad or struggling with life. Period. I've been through a lot in my life. Like I said, I'm 64 years old. Everybody doesn't handle adversity as well as others. When adversity hits your life, and it's going to hit you, you have to take your time and handle that. Don't act impulsively. When you act impulsively, you don't make sound and good decisions. Just to give you an example, if it's a physical violent situation and you act impulsively and you hurt somebody, you're going to have to answer to that. Okay? It takes a better man to walk away than to pull out a weapon or just to hurt somebody, and because every action calls for a reaction. Right. And if you take the law into your own hands and you go out here and hurt somebody, you're going to have to answer for that. If you have the time in any given situation, if you have the time to call the law, then that's what you should do. Right. Because if you take the law into your own hands, you're going to have to answer for that. Maybe in a lot of cases, you'll be justified in what you did. But in a lot of cases, you're not justified because you're not the law.
Well, you ain't got the skin color for it either.
And you just gotta be smart. Just gotta be smart. And I know a lot of young people think if they walk away from a situation that it takes something away from them as a man. But it's the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. It takes a better man to walk away. So, as I said, I've been here a while, so that's a little wisdom. That's a little wisdom. I've walked away quite a few times. Never been incarcerated. Never had nothing more than a parking ticket. And I don't even get them anymore because I learned. Stop giving them people your money. It's free money.
Right.
Okay, so
you got a lot of wisdom too.
Just
that's wisdom.
Just pay attention to your surroundings and don't act impulsively. And as she said, take care of your kids.
Oh, do you have any? You don't have any handles. Do you know what those are?
Who?
Handles?
No, I don't have no handles. I got some love handles. Why don't you create a couple handles for me?
No, I can't.
You can't?
You already have handles. Lisa said you can't put them out there though. So.
I have no handles.
You know what handles are? You're on Facebook. You're on Instagram, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are handles.
I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about, you create something. I mean, because that's just my name. That's my name. That's not a handle to me.
What?
My Instagram and my Facebook is my name.
No, but like, say it.
He thought you meant like a brand or something.
No,
yeah.
So the thing is, once this gets big, and say if this is something that people found like later on, it was like, oh, this is like some of the first episodes of the guest room or whatever, they would be able to find you from your handle. So it's cool. You can't find them. You can't talk to them. So
I know Lisa don't want it out there like that.
No.
Cause she might like what she sees. Find that black man.
So, I'm not gonna say anything bad because my uncle's here. So bye.
Oh yeah. Brown girl. Let me hear that right. Brown girl. Brown girl.